In 1999, that's when Rob was putting the Halford band together, and it turned into, like Chris at that point was a consultant to Rob and Rob's manager at that point, and trying to look for players for the band. And that's when my name came up through Roy Z and Chris both, say, hey, Bobby would be great, or whatever. And a few other guys came up, their names came up. And so they ended up sort of getting, like kind of a closed audition. It wasn't a cattle call sort of thing, but they had two different guys do the demos. And both of those guys weren't double bass players. Both of them were kind of single bass players. One was Pete Parada, who's now with The Offspring, and the other one was this guy Sid, and who was in the Two project with Rob. So, but they were looking for a metal drummer, and so my name came up, and I got the call, and I flew out there, and as well as a couple of other guys or whatever. But I practiced with the band for a while. And as I was practicing with the band, kind of learning the songs, and out of those demo tapes that they had sent me, Roy Z was in there working the songs out with us. And I hope I'm not skipping around too much with this story, because it's kind of like a bunch of things in my head.
Yeah,
and so yeah, and so Rob at that point comes in the room while I'm working with the band or whatever, working on the songs. And Rob's listening, he's walking around the room, and he's, like circling kind of, I'm reading my music, because I've just learned the songs and stuff. And then so Rob's kind of like, he's getting kind of animated and stuff, and, doing a couple of these and that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, he's digging it. And so we played a few songs, I'm thinking maybe 4 or 5 more songs after he had gotten there. And he said, all right, guys, let's go for dinner. And so we went to dinner. We went to, what's that name? Well, it doesn't matter. We went to a Mexican restaurant over there in Burbank area. And Rob sat across from me, and there was a bunch of us there. It was the band and then a few extra people. I can't even remember who was there, but it was, and me and Rob were just kind of talking about San Antonio. And he was talking about the history of Judas Priest and San Antonio and Joe Anthony and all this stuff. And, really cool conversation. And after that, I kind of was like looking around, and I asked, his manager, I said, so what do you think? And he says, well, you got the gig. And it just kind of was like that, it just, it was like, I guess he liked me, he liked what he heard, and he liked the everything. And that was it. I was in the band. So
Bobby, that's called a no-brainer.
All right.
That's awesome. That's what that's called. That's a no-brainer.
Bobby. So, at that point we did rehearsals, and I stayed there for, I think it was, we were working on the stuff for Resurrection. And then after a couple of weeks of working with Z on the songs and, pre-production and that sort of stuff, we went into Sound City and cut the Resurrection record. And then I came home, and I was home for probably a few months. And then the record came out, and we went on tour with Iron Maiden. And it was, kind of all went from there. It was.
I think Dave and myself saw that show at Sunken Gardens.
Correct. Yeah.
With the tour.
We were both there together, Jason and I, and it was a great bill. Maiden, Halford.
It was a great day. I mean,
it was a great day.
It was just a great day for everyone right there.
Yeah.
2 days. 2 days. We did two days there.
Okay.
Wow.
I at the time.
Look at that. He's got a photo.
There you go. There's your. Hometown,
is there any way you can
crowd.
scan that, Bobby? Can you? Oh, that's sick. Can you scan that and email it to me so Jared can put it up as a slate in the show?
Sure.
Fantastic.
We went
panoramic one like this. Yeah, sure.
That'd be great, dude.
We did 2 days. It was Labor Day weekend, and we did we did the Sunday and the Monday, and it was my birthday on one of those 2 days, and Rob announced it to the crowd, and it's one of my finest moments, I guess, playing your hometown with Halford, and
yes,
Rob saying, "Hey,
the whole audience, the people that are paying attention, that know you as a household name in San Antonio, in the just music community. I want to say heavy metal community, because there's more to San Antonio than just heavy metal, but that's arguable to some people. So when Halford is like announcing your name and happy birthday and from hometown boy and all that, I think I shed a tear. I think my heart grew 5 sizes, and I was just like, yes, this is what it's about right here. This is beautiful, beautiful, like suspended animation, like the time's fucking stopped.
Yeah.
And it's one of those moments, and I'm glad that photo is exactly what it says, everything I'm talking about.
I wanted
Halford would say, "Bobby Shamrock on the drums."
Yeah.
There was a time when
Bobby Shamrock?
The very first few gigs.
Shamrock.
I kind of like it.
I love it.
Bobby Shamrock.
I get teased about that. The band remembers that, at that
Of course
point.
They do. I wanted to tell you, Bobby, leading into that gig, I spent about, 15 years or so writing for the San Antonio Express News. I was born and raised in San Antonio. And I was writing for the San Antonio Express News as a music journalist, et cetera. And I interviewed Rob leading into that gig that you're talking about.
Wow.
And so I was having this conversation with Rob, talking about him coming to San Antonio and the new album and his band. And of course, I'm writing for San Antonio. I'm from San Antonio. And of course, I got to bring up your name, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, what about our hometown hero, Bobby Jarzombek? How did you find this guy? And, what's he like to work with? And I'll always remember that Rob, among other things, the first thing out of his mouth was, "Thank God for Bobby Jarzombek." And I was like, this is great, because he felt like you were the man for the job. And, I don't think he was just blowing smoke. He was very sincere and appreciative. And he sounded like he was genuinely grateful to have you in his band. And I thought that was really cool, because I'm from San Antonio and you were like the local boy made good. And I'm getting it straight from Rob, so.
Yeah, thanks.
Bobby, it's a fantastic story.
Yeah.
And I feel like your stories are working in this similar manner about you're meeting people and you're doing these gigs, and these people that you're meeting are fans of your previous works. And it's just kind of like this sort of like stepping stone across the water.
It is like that. I mean, a lot of people, I don't get the question a lot anymore or whatever, but when I was sort of coming up and whatever, it's like, well, how do I get that gig? Or how did you get asking, how do you get to that spot? And it is stepping stones. I mean, and I don't want to say, you have to play with everybody. You got to play with every band. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to take every opportunity, but you got to take some opportunities or some chances and do some things maybe that aren't particularly your thing or something, or you say, oh, maybe I'm going to wait for something else. You have to take those things and you got to do a good job. You have to, and you have to work with people. You have to be a good person, with them, and, learn the material. I mean, it's all the basic stuff, but it all kind of one gig. I mean, Juggernaut led to Riot. Riot led to Halford, and and it kind of keeps going on,
Yeah.
But in between that, there were so many other little steps that I had to cross. It wasn't just like one band to the next band to the next band. There's a lot of just internal sort of things that happen too, that kind of makes all that stuff kind of come together.